Hey Flosstube, it's Kim. I'm back again with another weekly cross-stitching update. You can find me on Instagram at SpartanStitcher, and this is video number 81. Today is the 10th of August 2020. I have 3 pieces to show you, so let's get right to it. I told you last Monday that I was in work getting those last approximately 1,400 stitches of black done on this top row of Trick or Treat by Randall Spangler, where I'm doing all the black extreme cross country before I start filling in the pages. And I did finish it on Monday, just as I said, but there's a story. So I finished that top left corner, you know, the corner most people start with, using Pattern Keeper, and I finished all the stitches there in the tree, and Pattern Keeper said 89 stitches remaining. And keep in mind, this was about half an hour before I normally go to bed, so pretty late at night. And I'm like, oh, what do you mean 89 stitches remaining? Where are they? In this chart, I'll remind you, is 625 by 890. And now I had to go through Pattern Keeper and try to find the remaining 89 stitches and figure out if I had missed some stitches or if I had stitched them and just hadn't marked them off. Well, come to find out, there was one big section that I hadn't marked off, and that was all the way down here in this cobblestone fence post. There was like 70 or so that hadn't been marked off, but had been stitched, so I marked those off. Those were easy to spot. There was a couple others. So I think out of 89, like 76 had already been stitched, just hadn't been marked off. But then I had to find the 13 other stitches in this massive piece so I could stitch them. And it was literally zooming in enough where I could view I have a Samsung Tab A, so it's a 10.1 screen. So I could see one page, you know, enough that the symbols would come through, and so it was easier to see, but small enough that you're still like this. So I could see one page at a time on the screen, and zooming, or not zooming, but scrolling left and right, and then going up to the next row and left and right, trying to find these onesie twosie. They were ninja stitches. And when there's only one pixel that's highlighted all by itself and not around any other stitches, that's hard to find. But I found them because I wasn't going to bed until that, you know, stitch count in Pattern Keeper said 0 stitches remaining. So I got it done. I still have it on the frame just for ease of holding it up for you. I even remember where some of them are. And they were all by themselves. So let me move this chair back so I can stand up. Alright, again, this is 25 count, easy count, extreme cross country. Alright, there's the width of the piece, so you can see the top. So here's the corner I finished that you hadn't seen yet. And I'm going to stand actually to the side so I can see what you're seeing. So, like for example, some of the onesie twosies were here in the door. There's a couple right there that were kind of hanging off. I don't know if you can tell, there's a stitch right there. That was one of them, all by itself. So, and it's harder when that one stitch is right on a grid line or a thick page break line. So, oh, tippy toes. There's the bottom. So there's the whole piece. And come October, I will take this off the scroll frame and hang it up on my wall. And then after October, we'll get to work back at the bottom, filling in the pages. So that is over 62,000 black stitches. That is the most used color. And I'm now over 11% complete. So when I start it again, I'm probably going to start down here. You can see that's where the partial page is. I'm not sure if, like museum shelf, if I'll do the partial page and the full page above it. Like if I'll work the whole thing as one, so I can get one big jack-o'-lantern in there. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Instead of just 30 rows of ground. So that'll be my decision to make in November. So that's Trick or Treat. And next I worked on Haunted Mansion Stretch Portraits by Good Morning Maui on Etsy. If you haven't started this one, take a look at her shop. She now has an epic Haunted Mansion pattern. That's pretty cool, that I would have been tempted to do if I hadn't already had this one in work. And I've also stitched the three main ghosts from the Haunted Mansion. I can't remember their names right now, but I stitched them a couple years back on a piece of black fabric that looked really cool. So all last year when I started this, and then earlier this year when I worked on it, I had only done like 100 here, 200 there, you know, at max 300 for homework and things for the School of Magical Stitches. I hadn't just sat down and just gone crazy on it. It was all very small amounts. So I pulled this out on Tuesday and just started working on it, and in 3 days I had a portrait done. So that was surprising to me. This is on 28 count Monaco that I dyed. So there you go. I had two sides of that frame for the guy standing on the dynamite in the beginning of the curtain, and I did all the rest of it. So just over 3 days for an entire portrait. And I got to start on the next frame. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it'll be this week, this upcoming week, or later on this month. I'm going to give it 3 more days to finish this piece off. Because all I have left is the portrait of the lady on the high wire over the crocodile. So, looking pretty cool on that one. It goes fast probably because it's all, you know, black colors. There's no confetti. And it's pretty fun to stitch. So that is that one. And then after that, I had, so that was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I knew I had to fill up. And I sent a message to Anne of Fiber, Floss, and Fiction podcast. And I said, what should I work on next? Supersized Color Expansion Museum Shelf, which is my piece for Around the World Going to Japan, or Macintosh Mill, because you know, that's my 20 and 20 piece. That's the one I need to finish this year. And she said Macintosh Mill. So it's all her fault. She told me to work on it. Macintosh Mill by Dimensions, art by Charles Wysocki. I'm trying to keep a straight face. Guys, I haven't even taken a picture of this yet. I just took it off the Q-Snap. It's done. I finished it. So there's the whole piece. I have to go way back here to see the whole thing. I haven't even washed it yet. I ironed out the Q-Snap marks. You can see I do have some marks on the Ada from Needle Minders. Just up here. So I'm gonna wash this with some Blue Dawn and see if I can get those out. I think I might have another one down here on this side because I was using one of those bottle cap needle minders to hold the pattern on the fabric. So let me fold this up and show you. So I just started working on it on Thursday, and I decided to work top down because I knew all this was fairly easy, nothing too detailed. I already had the clouds done and the sky done. But I filled in the rest of this orange tree, and I did all of these trees and these trees, and then filled in the field and the grass here. And then all I had left to do was the pumpkins and the rest of the ground. I know you can see it. Can you tell there's a color difference right there? Between right here and right there? And if you also notice, this color is the same as over here. You might be able to tell that these two areas are the same as the green right here. And that is because the first kit I've ever worked on where I've ran out of color. I've ran out of floss in 3 colors. But that's what that side looks like all done. So the first color I ran out of, luckily, was after I did this whole side of yellow on the tavern. I only had to use the yellow again for, there's a little bit of yellow in this path here, and in this tree up here, like, really, and like straw hats that they're wearing. And I went and I looked at the floss card. Now this is the card they provided me, but I drew on it and put everything on there. I have a whole length of yellow left, but what you won't be able to see, it's not going to focus. There's a twist to that. It's not 6-stranded DMC. This looks like a pearl cotton. I have no idea how this got in the kit. It is the exact same shade as all the rest of the lengths of yellow that I use for the tavern and other places, because on this side there's the straw and the path down here. So I don't know how I didn't see this weird length during the first half of the piece, but this has a twist in it. It will not separate. So what I did is I looked at my master set of DMC and I just held this up to every yellow shade that I could. Nothing was quite the match. It was either too bright yellow or too tan. And the closest I came up with, now keep in mind, it didn't really have to be an exact match because it wasn't up against any existing yellow. The only place I needed it were like those few places in the path and the straw hat and that one tree in the corner. So it didn't have to be an exact match. But the closest match I found was one of my grandmother's bobbins. She said it has a JPC there, so I'm guessing it's JP Coates 43. So that's what I used for the rest of the yellow. And then I ran out of, I didn't completely run out. I wanted to save a little bit, but you'll find out why. This is that light green. It's a light yellow green according to their colors on the chart. And I tried matching that. It's actually closest to 734, but that's what I used, and that's what I used here and here and here. And I could tell, even like I haven't filled all this yet, but I could tell it was different just based on over here. So all the half stitch in green here was empty except for the darker shaded spots. So I stopped using it and I switched to 3348, which is a brighter, but it didn't pull your eye as much. So it's not an exact match, but it didn't pull your eye as much as the 734. And then doing all the backstitch, I finished the pumpkins yesterday morning. So all I had left was backstitch. And I did probably over 1,500 backstitches yesterday and over 600 backstitches today. So convert that to full stitches. I have a sore spot on my finger just because there's so much backstitch. I ran out of backstitch color. But here's the floss card. Look at how much floss I have of all the other colors. So it's really odd to me, and I'll show you my back too. I've been, whenever I stitch a kit, I'm very careful, and I try to save as much as I can. I don't carry, and I do the rows, doing one leg across, and then go back to, you know, not waste floss. So there's my back. But I still ran out of the main backstitch color. And that dark brown is used in a few other places, like shading around the water wheel. So I found a DMC that was almost exact to that one. But this is what I'm going to do. This is a Charles West hockey kit that is out of print and very hard to find. I paid a decent amount, like not ridiculous, but a decent amount of change for this kit off eBay when I bought it. I started this piece in May of 2017, so I probably bought it 2016. So what I'm going to do in celebration of my finish, I'm going to give away the pattern. So you get this whole piece right here. So you get the front page. There's your pattern. It is folded up. It is one big sheet of paper. Okay, I have only taken it out to make working copies. And I recommend that whoever does get this pattern, when you do make working copies, you blow it up. Because the grid is so small that you can't see it well. Now, this chart is in color. It's black ink, blue ink, and red ink. And all the symbols are similar. So you have a red X, a black X, and a blue X. So it's like they use the same like 10 symbols. Not even 10 symbols. But in all three colors. So that's a little maddening. And I will send all of this with it as well. So you get the pattern, the cover page, and the remains of my floss. I have written a few, let's see, like the light yellow green, I put what number I used. And for the dark brown, I gotta write on there, I used 839. So if you want this, if you are interested in Macintosh mail pattern, do not say giveaway, any of that. You must be 18 years or older. I will ship it anywhere. Tell me in the comments, what's your favorite apple? What kind of apple, what variety of apple is your favorite? For me, my favorite is Macintosh. It's very hard to find. Common in Michigan, not common across the rest of the United States. And when I can find it, it's only for a few weeks in the fall. And then I can't get it the rest of the year. Whereas in Michigan, you can find them almost all year round. So, what variety of apple is your favorite? If you're interested in Macintosh mail. The only other thing I had that was interesting to know is this is 18 count Ada. This is what was included in the kit. Look at how much fabric border they gave me. That's pretty amazing for a dimensions kit. Usually they don't give you enough to, you know, put it on a Q-snap or hoop, or they don't give you enough. There's like 1.5 inches usually. But they gave me a healthy margin on that one. So this is my third finish for the year. My other two finishes were the 2 commission pieces. This was my third oldest whip. Like I said, I started it in May of 2017 when I started a whole bunch of full coverage pieces for Mania. So I am now down to 20 whips, I believe, because I started Card Sharp earlier. So I don't plan on starting any more full coverage right now. I'm going to work on what I have. And as far as the 20 in 20 challenge for full coverage fanatics, where I was using this piece, I stitched like 16,977. So, you know, just barely under 17,000. So now I need to finish the 3,000 and change on another whip, full coverage whip. I have a couple ideas what that's going to be. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. what I feel like. So, plans for this week. I did decide to use Museum Shelf for the Haid 10,000 Stitch Challenge. I figured out, I'm using it this month for Japan for Around the World in Full Coverage Fanatics. And it'll also work next month for Norway because it has a long ship on it. That's where we're going next month is Norway. So I'll try to get about 5,000 stitches. But again, it's a color expansion. So we'll see on that one. I feel like working on Templar again because I enjoyed that so much. What was it, last week or the week before? And then I'm going to go back to my portraits maybe this week, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see. My girls who had their birthdays in July, one of the things that I gave them for their gifts is diamond painting. So I was going to show off their whips and show you how well they're doing. Now, most of the boxes of diamond painting that you find in a craft store like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, I think the beginning age is 8 and above. So I knew my 8-year-old would be able to handle it. But I thought a 5-year-old may or may not. It may be too difficult. But there is a little bit of a jealousy thing, especially with their birthdays so close together. So I got her a teeny tiny one. So I thought I'd show you what they're up to. This is my 8-year-old's. She's into all things unicorn right now. So this is her unicorn pattern. And you can see she started up here. And this is going to look really cool when it's done. The only thing with these smaller kits, this clear stuff is annoying as hell because when you fold it, unfold it to work on it, it doesn't stay down like a paper backing over adhesive would be. So we try to use tape and secure it so it's not constantly covering up the area they're working on. And then for my 5-year-old, she got this cute little butterfly. And you can see she's already done over half of it. So this side is done. The body of the butterfly is done. And she started on the second wing. So that is her little butterfly. She only has an attention span of about 5 minutes to work on that before she gets bored. So that's pretty good. One Flosstuber that I discovered that I'd like to recommend, her channel name is Crafty Emily. I'll link her below. She is a previous merchant marine. She lives in the UK. And she loves her long dog, loves her long dog samplers. And also has a lot of full coverage. But she also has other pieces. She has a Hawk Run Hollow, ink circles, blue flower. She knits. And she, just like yesterday or the day before, she finished Sans Souci by Long Dog Samplers that she had started in July. She started it in July and she's already finished a Long Dog Sampler. If you're not, I know Jules from Long Dog, she shared it on her business page. But go check out, she hasn't shown it in a video yet. She's shown it as a whip. But the Long Dog Facebook page has the finished piece. It's cool because she did like a starburst pattern over it. So there's a center point focus, and then she drew lines out and has a rainbow pattern around it. So it looks like there's a starburst with all different colors around it. It's beautiful. And she's got a lot of different pieces, varying sizes. It's a little quirky, but aren't we all in some way? So go check out Crafty Emily. And I was going to have an Air Force story for you, but I've talked too long. And also I have a headache that's going to turn into a migraine today. So I need to get my video uploaded and take my medicine. And I will talk at you guys later. Don't forget, tell me what your favorite variety of apple is if you're interested. And we'll see you next week, guys. Happy stitching.